How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So, post Dyno, what happened? What's happening? What am I going to do? So key points. If you didn't watch the Dyno video, it made basically just under 600 wheel on pump gas, about 22 pounds of boost. And then we put some ethanol in it, and we were going to go for the moon. But did one pull and then the clutch slipped. So that little bit of extra response coming on boost earlier and just that little bit extra torque, it was just enough for the clutch to be like, no, I'm out. So turned the boost down so that I could hopefully get some use out of the car before I have to completely pull it to bits and rebuild the clutch and all that other stuff. So power steering still leaks. It's a nice puddle. I ended up taking off the belt while it was on the dyno because it made a hell of a mess. It was like just a wee dribble at the start, and yeah, then I came in the next day and I was the first one into the dyno room. It was just like someone had been shot, eh? It was just red pooling out from under the car. I was like, fuck. We got around and got some rags and had a bit of a clean up, and I started pulling the belt off so it would not piss out anymore. But yeah, there is an issue with that fitting. Got one here, so that there sits as I'm holding it on the power steering pump. Realistically, if it was facing that way, well, it would hit stuff, but you know what I mean, like the hose comes in from this direction, and I think it's just too tight and it's pulling it up and not letting it seal. So I'm going to try and bend this back a bit so that it doesn't pull it so hard, or I will cut it and weld on an AN fitting, so I can put like a 45 on it or something, push lock, for this feed, which is extremely tight all around the turbo area. So I've got very little room to play with. Contemplating going electric power steering at the same time. My power steering's actually always been really good. Leaked a little, but if I can say sort out that angle, hopefully not have it pull, get the correct O-ring. If it doesn't leak, I'm actually happy with the factory power steering system. I don't want to go down the route of essentially adding another headache and another failure to the vehicle. I just want to bloody drive it. So there is a track day 4 or 5 days from now. So I want to do it because, geez, my battery's going to be flat. I want to do it because, well, it's been a long time since the car's been on the road, and I've just had it tuned, and the whole point to do that was to drive it. But I'll see if I can sort out this power steering. That's the biggest thing. And then brakes need a bit of bleeding. As some of you may have guessed it, the pedal is rather fucking heavy without the booster, even with the re-drilled pedal. So I'm going to have a wee chat to people about that. I might try and change the pickup point again on it, see if that makes a difference after I've bled it, that is, of course. And see if that makes a difference. If not, then I will have to just change the master cylinder to a different sized one to be slightly more appropriate without a booster. But I'll get there in the end, it'll be right. It's something I'm going to have to get used to because I want to run bang bang anti-lag all the time because I am a giant man-child and it sounds amazing. Plus, I also have a truck turbo. So, like, I literally need anti-lag. You know, I was previously using like my launch control when I'd clutch in and handbrake to build boost when I was not driving previously, and it helped a bit. But I think anti-lag is going to be a bit more responsive than that. Right, so I've been playing around with a few different O-ring sizes. The chunky boy, which I would have quite liked to use. I just can't get it to seat into the pump. I do have a spare here. I can't quite get it to seat, so I had to go with a slightly thinner one. And unless I'm dead straight, see it push the what do you call it, O-ring out off to the side. So this probably will work really well if I can get it in dead straight. So I've got it all back together now. It's all tied up. For people that are worried about it hitting the belts, it won't. I'll try not to pull it up too high this time. Give it a little bit more slack down this end. Here's hoping this to work. It's mostly back together. I've left the filter off so I can see if I can have a wee look-see down there to see if the power steering is leaking from the top. But basically it's just time to start it now, and hopefully no leakies. Wrong timing. And again, I need a cam trigger ASAP. And that's probably right, but I don't have enough juice. God damn it. I tried getting away with plugging my battery charger in to do it instead of getting the booster pack because I accidentally locked myself in the garage. But I just won't be lazy now and try and find my keys and go in through the front door. Booster pack is now connected, though I just heard it beep, so the battery on that's probably low. We'll try anyway. So far so good, no leaks yet, though the pulley itself looks like it's got a bit of a shimmy on, so I should probably check to make sure the nut on that is tight, and the alternator belt's about to exit the building. That's got a bit of a fray going on, at least that one's easy to get to replace. Yeah, power steering seems like it's okay. Hopefully, so I might just take it for a little bit of a drive around and see if it leaks when I come back. Driving, been around the block, definitely up the temperature, and no leaks. That's amazing for me, super huge win. So stoked about that. I could probably turn off my car now and stop annoying the neighbourhood. Just like that. Might still get some death threats, who knows. The next wee job that I want to do before I go drifting on Wednesday is play with the alignment a little bit. Because I'd set this up because I wanted to do some circuit racing before I blew the motor. I have very little, actually it looks like zero toe at the front, whereas I normally like to run a bit of toe out, so I'm just going to play around with my toe a little bit and see where we are sitting. At the moment, this is roughly what I got. It's about 7mm toe out total. Just where it was set on the plates at the time. It wasn't quite at 0 after I'd adjusted the toe, so I've accounted for that because they were both out by a degree. So lead 12 trailing, lead 13 trailing 12, roughly 19.5, 18.5, 49, 46. So the Ekman curve means it's relatively parallel in the lower areas, and then as getting towards the end of it, it's opening out. So realistically, I don't know where I want to play with that. Might just lock it up as is because it's not too bad, and see how it feels. If I feel like I'm using a lot of lock and I'm scrubbing off speed, then I might want to adjust my toe to try and get that a little closer to parallel there, but that'll probably, yeah. Oh, I could go a little bit more, but it's a sort of, it's a feel thing. At least I've got some base numbers. I can go out and I can try it and be like, right, see what it feels like. A little bit more, a little bit less toe, but that looks like that's a pretty good start to go out and have a play. Much better than it was before, because that would have been probably probably would have been the other way around. The trailing wheel probably would have turned in more than the lead. So the next thing I'm going to do is, you can see a lovely line there where I've rubbed my wheel on the jam nut on full lock. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it actually to full lock, side to side, and make sure nothing is hitting. And I might actually check these measurements flipped the other way as well. Just gives me an idea if my rack's even, I guess. But yeah, this only reads to 50 degrees, so that's why I stopped where I did. But yeah, I'll just quickly turn this to full lock now and check clearance on both wheels, and then I might double check the Ekman on the other way just to make sure that I've got my rack centered. Currently on this wheel, clearance is okay with my arms and my subframe. A little bit to room to move before I smash my brakes. And looking at the dial gauge, so it stops at 50. It's probably somewhere between 60 and 65 degrees of angle, I'd say, on that wheel. She's a fair amount of lock, and yeah, that's probably going to be around about the 60-ish degrees, I'd say. I'll unscientifically measure. That's about 10, 50, yeah, about 60 degrees of lock on that side. But I'll just check to make sure I'm not hitting anything over here. So what you need to look out for on this side is up control arm. It's generally where I hit, and subframe, and jam nut on wheel. So that's all pretty good. Realistically, I probably should be on the safe side. Run a spacer on the front of these wheels just to prevent me bending tie rods if that moves a little bit further under bump or anything. Yeah, so far that's not hitting, which is good. I'll just flick it back the other way just to double check, because if the rack's off centre then it'll turn more one way than the other. It seems like it had pretty much the same amount of lock left to right, which is good, and didn't hit anything left to right, which is good. Though there is always a little bit of bump steer as well, so you know, when your car cocks up like that, you have a bump on one side and droop on another. It does change it ever so slightly, But static seems okay. I'll go out, hopefully I don't rub anything. So running a little bit more toe out than I normally would to reduce the amount of angle on my trailing wheel, so I don't hit the tie rods. Though I should probably just run a spacer. That would be the more sensible way to do it, but that's a bit of effort because my wheels are already at the limit of my guards. What I can do is I can run wheel spacer, and I can reduce the length of my arms to compensate so that my actual wheel sits in the same spot, but compared to the guards, but the inner barrel has different clearance to the tie rods, etc. So I can do that. I can, say, shorten my arms, or I mean I could widen my guards. Really can't be bothered doing that. I mean, I haven't even fixed this. It's been like that for a while. Maybe when I put a new set of guards on, maybe I'll widen them a bit. Well, it's nice that it is having a new ute. I hope I'm not mucking up my headliner there. 18s don't fit. Well, I wonder if they could focus on anything today. 18s don't fit underneath the hard top, so I really need a canopy. I miss the surf already. I was supposed to be selling that for like the last 2 months, and I haven't been able to bring myself to do it. So, nice modern ute. Uses about half the amount of diesel. And it's comfortable. And it's got Bluetooth and everything's all nice. And when I get some new wheels on it, it'll look alright. You still have a place in my heart. I can fill you full of rubbish and spill oil in you and I don't care.